Hi there, it's Denise Eckert from Balance Me Coaching. And I love bringing people on here who've got some tips and techniques to help you reduce the stress in your life. And today I've got Riana Milne, and she's a certified global life, love, and mindset coach and a best-selling author. Welcome.
Hi, Denise. Thanks so much for having me.
It's great to have you. So our topic today is how to go from business stress to success using the mindset for success. I love that topic.
Thanks.
So how do you help people change their mindset to go from stress to success?
Well, it's not a fast answer. I've been teaching mindset work since my young 20s, and it started out when I had a model and talent company at age 26 with people from a small town, Erie, PA, had big city dreams. And they came in and hearing all the doubters of their family. You can't do this. What makes you think you can be an actor? You're just from Erie. Or, plus size model came in and their family said, you can't model. Look in the mirror. You're fat. So if you know, my specialty around the world is healing childhood trauma and love relationship trauma. And I do it using the mindset for success. So these examples are what we call verbal messaging, which is trauma number 2. So many people have childhood trauma, actually 100% of us, and there's 10 childhood traumas. So if they're not healed, you stay stuck in your body, your brain, your chemistry with the trauma response, with high anxiety, bouts of depression, and negative fear-based mindset. So it's very important to heal anything from your past, which is usually unconscious behavioral norms that became very standardized, normalized when you were young. And if they stay with you as an adult, they impact you in life, how you feel about yourself, physically, mentally, love, your relationships, all relationships. Love relationship even means parent-child, sibling relationships, and partner relationships. And in business, how far and successful you'll go. If you stay in a job that you hate because you're afraid of change, but it's a weekly paycheck, or if you have a boss that's a tyrant, that's a sign of childhood trauma, or a coworker that's really aggressive and competitive and just really gives you a hard time, that's signs of his childhood trauma. So I go into corporations quite often and talk about these dynamics. And, so the higher ups, if they're seeing something, now they're having a different conversation with this employee, looking for other signs of why this is coming up and how they can help evoke change with it. So the change portion is the mindset for success. Now, my program, since I'm a clinical trauma specialist, is 4 to 6 months. And everything I've learned in my trauma work, that's how long it takes to go from unconscious, stress-based negative mindset to a proactive, positive, peaceful, empowered mindset and conscious awareness. So I have many tools that I use. My workbooks are 150 pages that my clients do with me. So that's why I said it's not a fast answer. And this is all based on psychology, philosophy, spiritual concepts, trauma recovery work. So it's a unique and trademark system that I teach. So I hope that makes sense a little bit.
It does. Now, if someone is suspecting that they are dealing with trauma and the trauma is holding them back, what do you recommend the first step to be? Like, how do you actually recognize that you do need that help?
Right. Well, quite simply, I developed a childhood trauma checklist in 2012 after I suffered a second love trauma. And 7 therapists could not help me because I'm also a psychotherapist of 22 years. And not once in my master's clinical psychology program did we hear the term childhood trauma or love trauma. It didn't exist. And I even had, a couple of people saying, why are you talking about this? This isn't real. So I was one of the first people talking about childhood trauma and developed this checklist for my own clients. And now it's an assessment tool used all over the world. So people can get the free love tests, including the childhood trauma checklist, right on my website, rianamilne.com. I see the test, you'll get a copy of it, and that will identify how many of the top 10 traumas you would have. There are more than 10. And then the first step for someone to work with me is they sign up for a Life and Love Transformation Discovery Session, where there's 5 simple assessments. I go over them personally and privately with that client for 1 hour. It's at a major promotional price, always on my website. And then you'll get to the bottom of, okay, now I know why this is happening to me, or why I'm stuck, or why I keep going back to toxic people, or why, my child pushes my buttons so much, right? So we get the answers of why you're struggling. And I found out the hard way, that it led me to the research that you can't change what you don't know or understand. So I'm looking for the answers when I went through trauma from 7 therapists and I got no answers. So that led me to the research. So people have a big sense of relief. Okay, I get it. Now I know why this, and this is happening. I'm staying stuck in high anxiety. And unfortunately, a lot of people use psychotropic medications, which I call just the Band-Aid, because they're not getting to the root of the issues that is causing the stress, the upset, the ongoing anxiety, right? And makes it really hard for them to relax whenever any challenge comes in life. People that have stuck trauma in their brain and body cells, they have this, again, fear-based negative mindset. They are more reactive. They go to the victim mentality of poor me or why me, where when you learn the conscious response, proactive response, we say, what can I do? Here's plan A, here's plan B. You stay peaceful, you stay confident. And we are expecting challenges because in Buddhism, we call this the Earth School. So it doesn't surprise us we have challenges. It's like, what can I do with this? And we believe there's no failure, only feedback. So people that might have had negative messages from their parents or heard no compliments or comments like, you're up to no good, or you're too fat to model, whatever that is, that can play over and over in your head. So for that particular young lady, I say, can you get from a size 23 to a size 16 with my help? And we'll promote you as a BBW, big, beautiful woman. And she ended up making a fortune with 4 special sizes. So it's all mindset that creates success in all life areas. So my clients find no matter what they're dealing with, when we do this mindset system and they start practicing it, it is not a quick fix. It takes time to go from unconscious to full conscious awareness and the belief system in yourself that you can do what you desire in life and how to do it and all these tips that I give. And then these skills will stay with them for the rest of their life. So when they're with me, they usually get raises, promotions, really happy relationships. I see like couples together since 2006 because I've been in business 22 years doing coaching and mindset work, So it's really wonderful to see the transformation. So if you'd like, I can share a couple of the tools that I use for mindset.
I would love that.
Okay. First of all, conscious awareness has to come in every aspect of your life. So also in the way you choose something. So our clients do meditate every day and they put their questions into their meditation. There's a specific meditation I teach them called Divine Spiritual Meditation. And this is a tool also. So I'll go into this tool. It is shown in science and quantum physics that 15 minutes of meditation lessens anxiety, depression, cortisol levels, which is fight, flight, or freeze response, lowers blood pressure, and increases dopamine and serotonin levels of the brain, which are your high and happy chemicals. It slows down your response system also, where before, if you're living in the dark side of negativity, you're quick to respond from your emotional triggers, and it usually doesn't serve you. Meditation helps slow down that response so that you can do good choices. So meditation is one of the tools that all my clients do. You need 15 minutes a day for 8 to 9 hours of positive effect on the brain and the body. And it also shows that it really improves focus and clarity. Okay, so that's one tool. Second is the choices to make wise decision, and I call it stop. So you have 5 fingers, right? So is this choice good for me in every way? Is it good for the one that I love? So your partner. Is it good for my children or extended family? Is it good for my reputation on the job and in the community? And number 5 is, if in doubt, go without. Don't do it yet. Think on it, meditate on it, take more time to think if you want to do this, say this, write this, text this. Too many people, again, are just quick without thinking through their choices and often have a lot of regrets around that. So that's a tool that we use. We have this driving lesson that whenever we want to do something in life, my motto is create the life you desire and have the love you deserve. So to have the love you deserve, you must be totally happy, joyful, and at peace with who you are personally. This is why we have to start my coaching with the trauma recovery part. That's module 1. Module 2 is all about goal setting. So you can't set goals if you can set them, but usually you fail at them because your mindset's not right. Right? You're afraid you're going to fail. Oh, it's too hard. Forget about it. Whatever. You tend to fail after a month or 2. So one of the driving lessons my dad taught me when I was young, he goes, "Hun, if you have the 5 Ds in life, you can get whatever you want." And I added 2 more to that. So there's 7 Ds. The first is really decide what you want. Consciously really think on it, decide what you want, and make a verbal or written declaration. Tell your friends, this is what I'm going to do. All right. If you keep it to yourself, you're more apt to fail. So declare it. Okay. Second is the desire. You have to desire that more than anything else. That means you have to be willing to sacrifice. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're going to have to put in maybe 10, 12, 14-hour days. That's certainly what I had to do when I desired to go from a local practice in Delray Beach to global. And I decided that that's what I wanted. And that desire was big, and I was okay with the sacrifices I had to make at that time. Determination is you keep going even when time gets tough, no matter what. We expect challenges. Again, you're going to try techniques. Some people call them failures. We call them feedback. Like I went on Alexa and I was recording every day and editing for Alexa. I'm like, you know what? That's a lot of work for little to no return. Nah, I'm not doing that, Alexa, anymore. And I just stopped. And that was feedback for me, right? As coaches, we try different modalities in marketing to reach our clients. So it's feedback. The next is a dedication. Again, the dedication effort, being able to say no when something outside of your desire doesn't serve you, like people try to get you to go out and party late. If you know you have a recording the next day, you have to, be dedicated to the process. No, I can't because, right? Devotion. Devotion is around spiritual faith. And you have to have faith and devotion in yourself and your higher power, whether you call it God, the universe, the divine, that you can indeed succeed at what you desire. You have to believe in it. You have to feel it. You have to thank your divine every day in meditation for this coming to you and this coming to be. So the devotion part is really important. When you have faith, you keep going because there's going to be challenges, and the faith keeps you going during the tough times. Dare to dream and dream big. So many people dream small. If you ask what would be your ideal yearly salary, it's like, wow, maybe 80,000. It's like, well, why not 250,000, or 500,000, or making $1 million a year, so dream big. What are your dreams? And put them into your meditation. And the last D is drive. And the drive is what keeps me going when I'm tired. I've done 2 weeks of 14-hour days. That drive is like, I call it work to exhaustion. In my building years, when I was building my online school and my platforms and my courses, That took a lot of time and energy, and that drive keeps you going to the next step. Now, some people says, well, isn't that stressful? Well, it could be if you don't have life balance. Now, this is number 3 tool. We talk a lot in my company about equilateral triangles, which we call balance triangles, 3 equal sides. So, for example, for couples, it's me, you, and us. During my time, I do my work, my workout, time with friends, whatever I need to do personally, my hobby. He does the same. And then together, that leg has to be equally important. Plus, you must share a vision with your partner, because they're going to resent your work if he doesn't share in the vision of where you two can go together. So you have to share in his vision of what he desires for his life or his business. Right. So and then of course that other time is make sure you have enough time for your partner. Continue to date, continue to enjoy each other. Carve that time out, put it on your calendar. The life balance for self is work, self, and partner or family. So many people shortchange the self. Signs of that is anxiety and burnout. Mm-hmm. So carve in massage, carve in your workout time, carve in, I call it my beach day is my Zen day. I live in Florida. So my weekends, the best day is my beach day. So I carve that out. That's a given. So do what you need to do for self-care and self-love, because those quieter or reflective times or those times of joy often really clear the head so you can be more creative. For business owners, it would be the organization, employees, and then marketing and sales. And no leg can do without the other when you have a successful corporation. So those are a few tools that we teach for mindset.
That's great.
And if you're feeling anxiety, your body is giving you a message. Once my clients heal from their anxiety and stress and tension in themselves, if the anxiety comes up, they're like, okay, what's off? Now it's a conscious going through, well, I have been working too hard, or I've skipped my exercise 3 times this week and my body is feeling that stress. So I have to go back to that. There's always like a proactive solution if anxiety comes up anymore. It's a message now.
Great. So I'd like to wrap this up in a little bit here, but I'd like you to talk a little bit about if someone is dealing with trauma and they are experiencing, the triggers and the side effects of having a trauma and doing it on your own.
Well, this is why people stay stuck for years and years. Many people try, let's say, self-help books, summits, podcasts, whatever, going to therapy 6 years. And I'm a therapist. And I said, if your therapist doesn't help you solve everything within 4 to 6 months, your therapist isn't working. I've heard people in therapy 3, 5, 7 years. I'm like, why? You need real solution. And the difference between coaching and counseling is coaching is very educational. I have a ton of skills to teach my clients, right? I just mentioned 3 of them, but they practice all these skills on a daily basis. And then indeed they change over 4 to 6 months and then they don't go back. So to do it on your own is really difficult if you don't have the skills. And again, that's putting yourself in that place of, I don't know what I don't know. Now you can do the 4 or 5 years of research that I did, and write the books of 300 to 400 pages. And that is a lot of work. But I did that because I needed the answers myself that no one else could give me. And when I uncovered the impact of childhood and love trauma on the self, I'm like, gosh, I have to go global with this message. This is so important. Because this is what we hear mostly. People just stay stuck. Yeah. And they isolate. And I love Tony Robbins saying, he goes, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I tend to agree. To stay in that status quo, that will bring depression on. So you want to be growing and learning and challenging yourself to new things. My people just love this because they're so excited and light about life. And whenever there's challenges, they know how to attach or, go after that in a very peaceful but confident way. Even if there's like a couple and there's an issue, they know exactly how to solve that. They learn new communication tools that none of us were taught, not by our family, not within school. So if we don't have these skills, the patterns keep continuing. Even though you say, I'm going to stop. Well, how, right? You need to know the how. And that's what I teach.
Yeah, that's very important, is having that guidance and the proper tools at the proper time when you're going through it. So I find trauma, it's difficult because you're unraveling, it's like peeling that onion. You don't really know where that onion stops.
Well, we do. That's what I do. I can tell someone in 1 hour exactly what's happening and why. I have done this with thousands of people over many, many years. So within 1 hour in this discounted meet me introductory session, the people finally have the answers. And I had one of my clients say, I learned more in 1 hour with you than 7 years of therapy.
Wow.
And she goes, these were the answers I needed that nobody gave me. And I said, I get it. This is newer research. It is a trademark system that I teach because nobody else does this. So it's very unique, but wow, it really works amazingly. And she's someone that got a huge promotion while she was in with me. Her kids hated her when she came to me. They wouldn't talk to her, or they yelled at her if they did talk. We healed all that, the family relationship. She had very low self-esteem from being with an alcoholic, abusive man as a husband. And then she divorced him and ended up with another toxic guy, which we call RRS, relationship repetition syndrome. You swear you'll never take anyone again like that first guy. And then here comes the second one. It's like, how did I end up attracting this same kind of a person? Right. And that's what we call chemistry. Yeah. And we in the world have been growing up with romance novels and movies and told you fall in love by chemistry. You get this fluttering in yourself and this is it. Well, unfortunately, it's your unconscious, which loves the status quo. So it's recognizing patterns from your past. And yes, it likes it, but it's not saying whether those patterns are good or bad patterns. Yeah. So you're usually attracted to someone, and you'll hear it later. I married someone just like my father, or how could I marry someone so critical like my mom? That would have been the last thing I wanted, but that's what I ended up with. So you have to learn that choosing a partner, yes, there has to be an attraction factor, but there is so much more to a relationship to make it successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is there anything you can offer that you're offering the audience? I will put all your contact information in the show notes and any of the posts. But is
yes, I've got lots of gifts. Yeah, lots of gifts, Denise. Go to my website again. It's my name, rianamilne.com. And on there, you'll find the 4 free love tests. You will find the free ebook, How to Have the Love You Deserve. Under the books section, you'll get the first 60 pages of my one book, Love Beyond Your Dreams, Break Free of Toxic Relationships to Have the Love You Deserve. It's 400 pages and a #1 bestseller on Amazon. And the sister book, which is all about the mindset for success, is Live Beyond Your Dreams, From Fear and Doubt to Personal Power, Purpose, and Success. Then also on there is a link to my podcast, which is called Lessons in Life and Love. There's like 110 shows, and they're on every podcast platform out there. My YouTube channel has about 250 audios and videos that are, again, all educational. I'm very much about education. So help yourself to those gifts, and I hope it helps. But if you want that personal attention and put a stop to anything you've been suffering with, then definitely sign up to meet with me privately for your Life and Love Transformation Discovery Session.
Wonderful. Well, you know what? Trauma is very, very hard to deal with, and we don't realize how much it affects us 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later. And it's something that, yes, we need to get it right.
Yeah, it's true, Denise. The Kaiser Permanente company out of San Diego developed the ACE test, which is quite different than mine, actually. But they worked with 17,000 overweight people that had childhood trauma. And they followed them through many years. And there was a lot of physical ailments, early death, irritable bowel syndrome, migraines, sleep disorders, eating disorders, poor immune situations like fibromyalgia and Epstein-Barr virus, even heart disease and diabetes. So there is so much health related. If you do not heal this trauma in your brain and body, I know you're all about relaxation. So that would be the first step to having that peaceful, joy-filled life. And you do know how to relax, even though you can be very successful.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's all about the mindset skills and balance in life.
Yeah. I love the triangle idea that you introduced. That's great. And it's so true. I mean, you need that. You need to change things up in your life. You can't just work, or you can't just do family. And you need to take care of we need to take care of ourselves as well.
Well, you have to have that self-love before you go out to try to date a partner. Like, you have to feel in your mind and your soul that you are the whole package. So very often I have people coming to me fresh out of divorce, fresh out of a toxic relationship. They're like, no, I don't want to date. I don't want to know anything about dating. I said, well, you will, because you're not going to be alone forever. So you want to get these skills, because once you're confident enough to be out there in the world and meeting people and being social, you're going to meet men or women, right? Because I work with men, women, straight, and LGBTQ. From 16 to 73 was my oldest. So I said, you're going to be out there. So first we heal that and create the life you desire. Then second, if you're single, how to date successfully. And then if you're a couple, breaking down and stopping any toxic patterns, teaching them new forms of communication, the understanding of each other's childhood trauma and emotional triggers, and having more compassion and forgiveness, and not taking anything that they might say or do personally.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from unconscious patterns that they're doing it. So we break them, and then we have them recognize it, apologize, forgive. And again, that's part of the spiritual part of the program, where they have to learn forgiveness and have the strength to apologize as well.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for your time. What wonderful information. And to any of the listeners out there, feel free to contact Riana. Her information will be everywhere I post this.
Okay. Great, Denise. Thank you so much for having me and joining the mission of changing how the way the world loves.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Sure.
If you're looking for more ways to reduce the stress in your life, please visit www.therelaxationlounge.info. Here I've got access to a free Facebook page where you can get support, information on the podcast where I interview different individuals who share their techniques to help you reduce your stress, plus a membership that you can join where you can come and do stress reducing practice on demand anytime you need to reduce the stress in your life and create more happiness in your world. I'll see you in the lounge.